The 49ers just completed their second preseason game of the season. And Mike, on today's episode, we are going to provide the faithful with the weakest links. You ready, baby?
You B.A.M right.
That was a little delay. What's going on, 49er faithful? The B.A.M crew is back in the building. Monday episode. We just finished our second preseason game. You know what's funny, Mike? The next preseason game is on this upcoming Friday. And so I guess we won't be able to talk trash about it until that Monday on the B.A.M show. But you know what we get to do next Monday? We get to predict our 53-man roster and go through like these final roster bubble cuts, the whatever.
Wait.
So it should be fun.
What schedule you see?
I mean on the 27th. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's when we
wait. Okay, because it is Sunday.
No, the game is Friday.
Are you sure?
Against the Raiders?
It's Sunday at like 10 o'clock, ain't it?
I thought it was Friday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I thought I looked that joint up and it was that changes everything. All right. That definitely changed. Am I still speaking on a delay?
I don't know. Depends on how quick you respond.
Oh shit. You're right. It says Friday, August 23rd. You're right. Why did I think that was Sunday? Oh, I'm so much happier now. Whew. Okay. All right. Yes, you were right. Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Correct, which is 7 p.m. So it's a night game in Vegas. Well, aren't they 2 hours behind? I can't remember. So it's 8 p.m. in Vegas. 6, I don't know. Whatever. Different time zone. That I do know. Because on the West Coast, it would be 7 p.m. So in Vegas, wouldn't it be?
I thought Vegas was also 3 hours behind.
Oh, is it 3 hours behind?
I thought Arizona was where it goes to 2.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. Oh, either way, it's a West Coast game. So we're going to have to figure out this final roster. And what we have been doing since the preseason started, for those, make sure you click on one of the B.A.M shows up there and check out the B.A.M show, especially on the Monday since the preseason, because last time we talked about it being like an end game for like Ambry Thomas. And unfortunately, he ended up getting injured. Like, you know what I'm saying? So will he make this roster? That's going to be something to kind of like look into as we continue to move forward. But Mike, how was your weekend and enjoying the second preseason game?
My weekend was fantastic. I got to spend some time with my grandmother. I got to see some cousins that I haven't seen in years. My pop and my brothers were in town, so we had a men's gathering at my cousin's house up in North Jersey. So it was good to see that side of the family as well. Everything was absolutely fantastic. Good food, good family, play some cornhole, some spades, a couple drinks, and 49ers football. What a way to cap off the weekend, right? It was a very entertaining game, fun game. Yeah,
you
so
said cap off,
I was happy. Yeah, I like
about busting caps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that.
All right, so before we get into today's episode, which we're going to be talking about the weakest links, we're going to kind of, and what we've been doing, what we'll do is kind of like give the weakest links from this particular game. And you know what's crazy? Because some players play better in the first preseason game than they did in the second preseason game, and vice versa. So it's really going to be, you know what I find interesting? It's really going to be difficult for Kyle Shanahan and the crew to make the decisions, because they have to make some tough decisions in some of these rooms by letting go of a lot of players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's some tough decisions that are going to have to be made here. Absolutely. But it's a good thing though, right? Like the tough decisions means that there's depth. If they're tough decisions,
good depth, right? Like you can't just say that there's depth. You have to add the adjective in front of it, or you have to add that in front of it because depth is depth. And we've been on our Niners team has had depth before, and a lot of players at the position, and they just weren't great enough. Do you think that from watching these 2 preseason games, just overall, how would you rate the depth after the 2 preseason? Just give me a rating with either good, average, or poor.
The whole team, or like defense versus offense, or
the whole team, just in depth.
The whole team,
yeah.
I think the depth is actually pretty good. I think the depth is pretty good.
I said good, average, or poor. So you went pretty good.
Good,
put the adverb
average,
in front of it.
poor. Oh, I'll put average. I'll put it in the middle. I'll put average. I'll settle in the middle. I think we got.
Because I you said pretty good, so I didn't know if that was better than good.
Well, I was thinking excellent.
Get you.
Excellent, pretty good.
I only gave you 3 choices.
I know, but I wasn't listening. My bad. Yeah.
Just ask.
So average. I'm going right in the middle. We got average. We have average depth here.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's fair. What do you guys think out in the chat? Does the 49ers have average depth, good depth? I should have asked that as a poll question. I could probably create a poll question really quickly. Mike, just really quickly to brush up on the latest on the Brandon Ayuk saga, it has been reported that the Pittsburgh Steelers offered him less than $28 million per year per NBCS 49ers. I'm going to create that poll question.
See, Wayne gonna put me out here because he knows that I know that these people are all full of stuff. We have heard every single number of an offer for Brandon.
I'm gonna add excellent to the thing because you said excellent.
From $24 million a year up to $32 to $33 million a year. We've heard every number in between. It's always by somebody else and all that stuff. John Lynch straight up said it. Hey, listen, people are going to talk because that's what they're supposed to do, but I wouldn't hold too much stock in anything that you guys have been hearing. John Lynch said that, and he's got nothing to gain by saying that. I could imagine him saying, I was offended when some of the information came out. I didn't like hearing that kind of stuff. That's not what he said. Don't put too much stock in what you're hearing. People are just going to talk because it's time of year. That's what they do. We got to stop. Those numbers aren't those numbers. Nobody knows what the offers were except the people in the front office and his agent. That's it.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, listen, I'm the messenger. My job is to just tell you what has been reported. If y'all choose to want to bite the bait, that's on y'all. Like at the end of the day, like I ain't saying this stuff. I've been saying that Brandon Ayuk's going to be a 49er. He wants to be a 49er. The 49ers just need to make him a 49er. Just stop playing. Like people keep saying Brandon Ayuk's playing games. He's not Sirianni. He wants to be a Niner. He's made it clear. The Niners need to stop playing games at this point. And I think they can tell that the Niners, looking at this depth at the wide receiver position,
right?
They might want to cut the game. They might want to say, okay, Hunger Games in now. All right, Ayuk, man, you were right, dog. But don't tell nobody you were right.
Right. Yep. Because let me tell you, that depth wasn't depthing at that wide receiver position. Huh? The best thing Brandon Ayuk has done this season to make his case for getting paid is staying his black behind home.
The best thing Brandon Ayuk did this season by making his case to getting paid is staying his black behind home so he can unveil what the hell Kyle Shanahan is working with.
Come on now. Because yeah, now they got to put some respect on his name now, right?
I mean,
now they got to say,
this is the ultimate, what's the word? Leverage. As leverage. Like, without having leverage, he just got leverage. Shout out to Ronnie Bell, Trent Taylor, and all the other wide receivers that just seem to be falling down, minus Jacob Cowing, because this is that show.
I'm so mad you said shout out. I thought you were saying something positive.
No, I definitely wasn't.
Shout out to all of y'all for failing.
A lot of people a lot of people feel like I'm like this like I'm going to champion like certain players or like advocate for certain. Yo, if you trash, you trash. Like there's nothing I could do about you being trash. The only way I can defend you is if you're not trash. Now, I did like I got some footage, I got some still photos about all right, Mike, who was the weakest link in the game yesterday? Let's just start the show off with that, man. Who was the weakest link?
We keep it in the whole buck.
We keep it in the whole buck. I'm talking a whole buck, and you can't mention Brock Purdy. That's the only person you can't mention because I know Mike. Do I know you? Did
get
I?
Out my head, man. That's funny. Okay. All right, so we talking about just receivers?
Yeah. But no, we talk about period. And let's get. I'll tell you what, Mike, create a quick top 5 weakest links, and then we'll talk about them.
Okay, number one.
Are we going 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Oh, we're gonna go 5. Let's start with 5.
Okay, so I'm gonna do some typing while you do this.
All right, so I got a number 5 weakest link. So not the weakest, but you in the top 5 of the weakest.
Just the 5th weakest link. Dang, you be struggling.
Because I want to make sure that we saying it all the right way. I'm gonna have to go with Jake Moody.
Okay.
I didn't like the miss kick, and I gave special teams an A. I thought special teams really stepped up yesterday. Even with the miss kick, I gave it an A, but that was one that he should have made. Everyone, tried to say it was a 50-yarder, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. He missed that joint super duper wide. Like, it wasn't a close miss. He was kicking. Who was I on with? They were like, yo, he tried to kick the ball to Las Vegas. Like, he was sending it to the stadium for next week.
You did see what happened. You did see why he missed, though, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so you didn't see the pressure in front of you didn't see the line allow the.
I don't care.
You do care. It affects kicks.
Get hit and get the penalty yards and keep.
It's not him trying to get. It wasn't about him getting hit. I'm sure he would get hit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they made an attempt to block the kick. They interfered. They got in front of him. He missed the kick. Like, I'm the first person to say that he got to make all his kicks. But damn,
right. So I should
kind of hard.
What you're saying?
No, I'm just saying it's kind of no, absolutely not. It's kind of hard to. I'm giving you context. I don't think a lot of people saw that. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think a lot of people saw the pressure that dude, you can't let the dude get over you because it's gonna obstruct the view of the kicker trying to kick the ball straight. When the special teams line did block relatively excellent, his balls went down the middle. Pause.
All of them, by the way, nothing to that right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
How everything was in the right?
That's all I'm saying is there was context to it, but no, he's weakest link 5, and that he was the weakest. He was the strongest of the weakest links.
See, okay, there we go, because he was still good. He still had a solid day.
3 for 4, 75%. Just want to put that out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so 5. I got Jake Moody. We'll put these at the end as I keep typing. 4. Who you got? This is fun.
Oh, you want me to do another one? Okay.
You're doing all of them.
I thought we was going to ping pong. Oh,
absolutely not.
All the hate on me.
I'm going to give you context because I feel like I got context for every weakest link.
All right, cool. I got another one. Number 4. Running back Schrader.
Oh.
Trash.
You
Trash.
don't like Schrader, bro.
No, I don't. It's not that. I don't know.
Yo, this dude averaged like 1 yard per carry, bro.
Trash. And I'll give him you know what?
I got context, though. I got context.
Number 3. Yeah.
I got context, though.
What's that?
I will say this. He's not an outside zone running back. So why is all his plays outside zone? And you can tell that's what he needed to work on. But if he don't have the speed to do that, why? And this is what I hate about the 49ers
what does
rushing
he do
offense.
Well?
He rushes up the middle well. He does the same shit Jordan Mason does very well. He has better cut ability than Jordan Mason. Yeah, he'll make a person miss where Mason will truck the person. You get what I'm saying? But power running is his gift. Is his ability.
Okay.
So all his runs were outside. The majority of his runs were outside zone. And I couldn't. But this is preseason, and that's what they probably were working on. But in this game, he was a weak link. I can't even stunt.
I do blame a lot of it on the offensive line. Offensive line blocking for the run game was trash yesterday.
It was trash in both.
All of them.
Yeah, it was bad.
The people that we're praising in Pooney And I think Jalen Moore had a good day in pass protection.
I know Jalen Moore had a terrible day in pass
trash.
protection. He actually had a better day in run blocking. It's crazy.
Well, from the first two drives, I disagree. I don't know what happened after the first two drives. I didn't go back and watch him after that. So
okay.
The first two drives, Jalen Moore held up really well in pass protection. When Brock Purdy was in there, Jalen Moore was doing his thing. Now, after that, I got to go back and see if it was him or Hubbard. I don't recall that, but I saw a lot of people trying to say Brock Purdy, Jalen Moore, not a good mix. It wasn't Jalen Moore. It wasn't Jalen Moore for those first couple of drives. I don't know what the rest of the grades though. But that offensive line, as far as the run game, weren't blocking for anything. They weren't opening anything up. It was terrible.
It was.
We still, I think, finished with like 150 yards rushing though, right? Like
no, we finished with 94 yards rushing, bro.
94 yards rushing. Terrible. Okay.
We gave up
it is how it felt.
Though. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We on number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Danny Gray.
Okay.
And now you could try to make some context out of that all you want.
You gotta give me a second. You gotta give me a second.
These.
So look. I don't know. I don't think I can. He made a catch on an easy pass, relatively hard looking, but he caught it. Targeted 3 times, 1 reception, but terrible in the run block. Like, he's just not good.
Fam, his one catch, he played volleyball. He set the ball to himself.
I told you.
You know what a volleyball set is?
Yeah.
Like,
come on, Mike.
2 hands to set. Yeah. Yeah. And then the bump is the forearms, right?
You're pushing the ball up to set for the spike.
He set the ball to himself.
They said he caught that pass 3 times. That's funny.
Number 2, Trent Taylor.
Yeah, I like this, man. So
you don't
got no
dive. Nah, the defense is chilling. The defense is chilling right now, and I'm not happy with the defense. But it's hard to isolate one person right now.
Nah, there was a few isolated people on the defense that I thought. But you know what? This is Mike's weakest links.
Yeah, yep.
I didn't like Rocky Scene. I think he's definitely
he shouldn't be in the building.
Then you should have put him on your list. He should have been on the list. Like at the end
of the day,
he wasn't
as bad as these other players are.
He was the weakest link, and getting that penalty could have cost the 49ers the game. I will say that.
I knew that was coming. I predicted that and everything. I predicted his penalty against the Saints.
No,
it's
didn't.
Crazy. I swear on everything. Go to the YouTube page and watch the game preview show we did on whatever night that was. I predicted his penalty against the Saints. Trying to do a little bit too much against the old team. You know who did well against the old team? Chase Young.
Sure enough did.
Chase Young.
People talking about people talk about, he ain't go that hard and the Super Bowl. Didn't he get a sack in the Super Bowl?
He got a sack in the Super Bowl, and he was hurt. The Niners knew it, and the Saints knew it.
The Saints, right. But I always thought that Chase Young's issue with the 49ers was the simple fact, not only was he dealing with some type of injury, the fact that he didn't have a break. Like, the dude played like every game that season.
Every game, yeah.
Many snaps, like, and so I thought it was just wear and tear on him. Like, he just ran out of gas.
What do you think about Trent Taylor taking a dive in the middle of a run play? I mean, in the middle of his route. He dove and got up and then kept running and then was 5 yards away from the pass where it was supposed to go.
Trent Taylor just told me how he's diving his way off this team. There's no way. Like, because I already know who your number 1 is. And so if I had to pick between the two, I'm not trying to be a homer, but like, I get it because I'm only keeping one veteran. His name is Chris Conley. And so Trent Taylor, I'm sorry, bruh. You know why I'm sorry too? Because I liked what I saw from Jacob Cowing as a punt returner. Short catching the ball, allowed the ball to go over his head for whatever, could tell people to get away. Like, let's keep it a buck. He did everything he needed to do, communicate. He did everything he needed to do right as a punt returner, because that is how you're going to make this roster as a wide receiver. You have to find a way to work yourself on to special teams, because if not, goodbye. And so you bring in Trent Taylor, but it's going to be unfortunate that he's probably going to get the walking boot. Or not
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's unfortunate for him is what I'm saying. Like he's not doing anything to plead his case. But yeah, Trent Taylor.
He's not doing anything of value, man. Let's just keep it above. Like,
He's
cool
not
you a
good in the
veteran
screen
here.
game anymore. Now again, we do gotta like have a slight caveat because the Niners offensive line has been unavailable.
Did you see the screen? Did you see the screenplay to Trent? First of all, a screenplay to Trent Taylor is terrible. Just saying that. But who was supposed to be blocking for him?
I don't know, but then the line wasn't there.
They called it a screen, and there was nobody there blocking for him
because I don't think the line knew what the play was. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. I really don't think that particular group of offensive linemen knew what their roles were on the screen. They all look like Spencer Burford in the Super Bowl.
Look like it. Wow. Give yourself a bell. They all look. Say it one more time for the people who didn't hear it.
They all looked like Spencer Burford in the Super Bowl. Yes, I didn't say the effing Super Bowl, but I know what Mike said. Yeah, like in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right? Yes. I mean, they did. They look lost.
That was terrible. That was terrible, man. It was absolutely terrible, bro.
Can I give a quick shout out before you give your number one?
Is it like the shout out to all the receivers getting off the team like you did last time? Because that was funny.
That was dope. I didn't even know I was going to do that. No, I want to give a shout out to the best offensive lineman on the football field and the rookie Dominic Purdy, like 2 weeks in a row. And he's holding his weight in pass pro. And remember I said I needed to see how well he was going to play against that interior rush because their starters played. I mean, their starter got hurt, but he played. Like, you know what I mean? I thought Dominic Purdy held his, a.k.a. Big Pun. I got to make sure I put that out there. I thought he held his weight. You know what I'm saying? I thought he held his weight. Again, Mike, he's not the typical standard 20-yard shuttle offensive lineman. Like, he got work to do in the run game.
Yeah.
But I definitely think as far as protecting Brock Purdy, he had Mike, what do we tell our guards to do? Head on a swivel, right? Head on a swivel, right?
Did you see him spin around and look for somebody to smack up? Is that what you're talking about?
I saw this cat say, I ain't got nobody to block. Tasmanian Devil picked up McKivit's guy. Like, and it's not like McKivitz gave up the pressure, who only gave it one pressure, by the way.
He was doing fine. McKivitz was doing fine.
McKivitz was very well in pass pro and in run blocking. But it wasn't like he gave up the pressure. The pressure just got around him. So the guy's kind of like out of the play. And then he kind of went back. Like McKivitz had him to the right and then kind of pushed him back in. And then McKivitz was going to kick out to whoever was coming on his outside. And Purdy spun around and it's like, I got you, bro. Like, that is how to play offensive line football. I don't know if they're great at communicating, but if that's the continuity that we're going to get on the right side, and you get Trent Williams, healthy Aaron Banks on the left side, and you can put anybody you want at center. I'll go out there and play center. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, he looked good. But tomorrow, that'll be tomorrow's show. Your top five. If I'm doing the bottom five today, you could do the top five tomorrow on the Nothing But Niners No Harm. Wow, WayneBreezie. Yeah.
All right, so I get to go with my top five. All right, I got to get your one, bro, because I'm just going to put it in here and just, because I already know who it is. So go ahead and give me your one, and let's have this conversation.
My number one is going to be, you thought it was Ronnie Bell.
Oh, it's Ronnie Bell, dog.
Yeah, it's Ronnie Bell. It's definitely.
It's Ronnie. You can ring my.
Yeah,
like it's Ronnie Bell. All right, so here's some interesting stuff, and some people live by PFF. Some people don't. Some people hate it. Some people love it. It's kind of like a guide mixed whatever. So I'm sitting here watching Ronnie Bell. And
I want to change my number 5. It's okay. I'm sorry. My number 5 should be different.
But I didn't. Who's your number? Who you want to change number 5 to?
Number 5 should actually be Darrell Luter Jr.
Really?
Yes.
I thought he played a decent game.
No,
He
he
had a
didn't.
couple of mistakes. So tell me what you didn't like about Darrell Luter Jr. because it's Darrell, not Daryl. But go ahead.
Darrell. What's that? Little Daryl. Oh,
That was
Daryl.
that
Daryl
was
Luter Jr.
from the
My name,
Mad
Little
TV.
Daryl.
No, you talk about Little
No.
Daryl from Ricky Smiley, but Darrell,
Yes.
that's a
All
Mad
right.
TV skit.
He had two. I think he was credited with 2 passes defensed. One of them, he didn't even do it. Like the ball just hit him in the helmet or something. Like he didn't even know the ball was in the air in the end zone. He didn't get his head around. He's credited for it. He got missed tackles. The guy was lost on 3 plays out of the 5 that he was targeted on. He just didn't look good to me at all.
First game. That's the first game he played in this year. On that play, that's great defense. If you put it doesn't matter how you get the PBU, you get the PBU. Like it could be your face mask, it could be your helmet, it could be your hands. Like getting the PBU is getting the PBU. You know what he didn't do? He didn't get a flag.
Right.
So
okay, so that's my beef though. That's my beef, right?
But it shouldn't be your
same
beef
exact play.
if he was still able to get the PBU. Like I don't understand how
because a flag is a judgment call.
A flag is if it was penalty, it would have been a flag, and it is a judgment call. But my point is, it wasn't a judgment call because it was a good defensive play.
It wasn't a good defensive play. He just got lucky. That's what I'm trying to tell you. His body was in the way of the guy receiving.
That's what it's supposed to be. Like if
the ref wanted to throw the flag on that, he could have.
It wouldn't have been. It wasn't. He didn't make contact for it to be a flag, Mike. That's my point. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to. He didn't get his head around because he probably got beat on the play, and he completed the play. He finished the play. Like I'm sorry. Like PBU is PBU. I know there's a technique. I want you to turn your head. I want you to put your hand. Like nah.
I don't care about that part. I didn't care about him turning his head. I'm one of those people that don't need to see that. But I would like him to have the awareness to know that his guy is reaching for the ball. Do something with it. He just kept running. So there was a play to Cam Latu down the right sideline, right? And it was a pass that was underthrown. He didn't really reach out for it, but had he stopped and reached for it, the defender would have ran through him and would have drawn the flag, right? So if he reached for it with one hand but didn't get the other hand out, right? The same exact thing could have happened the other way around that Darrell Luter Jr. play. If the defender had just stopped, Luter would have just ran into him, and then it would have been a flag.
I'm not saying that he doesn't need to work on or adjust on his technique, but you can't sit there and criticize the person for something that somebody didn't do. Had he saw a guy reaching out, perhaps he would have turned his head around and put his hand up for the PBU. Like you can't say that. Like the dude didn't do it, and he ran through the play. Like he ran through it. So like at the end of the day, Mike, it's a PBU. There's no right or wrong way how to get a PBU.
Okay.
Right? Like, I get what you're saying, but what if in his eyes? I'm just saying, what if? What if in his eyes he was watching, obviously, clearly, closely watching the receiver, right? Like because he wasn't looking back at the ball. He was watching the body language of what the receiver was gonna do. And so what if he knew to make that adjustment? Because here's my thing on Darrell Luter Jr., right? My biggest red flag on him was penalties. Coming out that Senior Bowl, like coming out of college, great in pass defense, great in PBUs, but hella penalties, right? That was his red flag. And he got him in the Senior Bowl. Like, great defender, flag, and the practices, I mean. So I'm like, all right, but this dude is a lockdown. Remember, I was talking about him. I was like, yo, this dude does not give up passes. So good luck, right? And so like I'm saying to myself, all right, he missed tackles. So that to me, that's worse than what you're talking about. I hate missed tackles. But if you're going to give me that smoke about Darrell Luter Jr., then you better have some smoke from Malik Mustafa because he missed several tackles in this game.
Right.
Several. So missed tackling was bad. I watched Malik get blocked out of a play, like by Taysom Hill. Golly. I watched Taysom Hill push him down the field, and their running back ended up getting like 20-plus yards. So I'm just saying, like, I think the missed tackles, in my opinion, based off of him being your number 5, which is cool, I think that's more important. And maybe he was reading the receiver, like how we go into a show and we read the room. I don't know. I would like to ask him. Maybe he just messed up and got lucky, like you said. I don't know. But let me look up. You talked about
Ronnie Bell.
Ronnie Bell. All right, let's go. Number
Ronnie
one.
Bell, I think, was everyone's number one.
Number one. I know we got super chats. We'll get to them at the end of the show. I do promise. Also, I see that Peachy has been a member for 19 months. We're going to give her the air horns for that. Not currently paying attention to the chat as we speak. I just saw it out of the glimpse of my eye. Bell and Taylor need to stay away from the footballs. These cuts coming are going to be crazy. These NFL teams salivating, become a member today. Hit the join button, guys. Become a member, hit that join button. I don't have any stipulations. I see PG say no stipulations. Hey, check this out, right? So there's context to Ronnie Bell because I just finished watching stuff on Ronnie Bell. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, first of all, watching the game, I'm like, this dude is trash. And receiving. Hold up. And receiving. I thought he struggled. I thought he had 3 drops, 4 drops. How many drops did Ronnie Bell have?
I thought he only had 2.
Good.
But
So I thought he had more. I thought he had a minimum 3. The other catches.
We talking about this game, not
we talking about this game.
Also,
last week he only had 1 drop, but this game, you thought he only had 2?
Yeah, and that's how. If you had said 3, I thought you were talking about both weeks. That's why. Okay.
Got you.
But yeah.
All right. It just looked like he had more drops. Like, you know what I mean? So let's talk about Ronnie Bell. So why'd you pick him as your number 1 weakest link?
I just wasn't happy with the effort that was out there, the lack of blocking on a couple of plays that came his way.
He was rated the number 1 blocker, by the way. He was the best wide receiving run. He was the best pass catching run blocker out there, second to offensive linemen in run blocking.
Which tells you how the rest of those guys were blocking. Also,
it could.
That's
I mean, that one. Yeah, it could. But at the end of the
now,
day,
also,
he still blocked well. Is my point.
They might grade based off of the guy in front of him, and maybe he eliminated that guy. And maybe what I saw was towards the end of another play where he could have made another block, and they won't hold that against him. So it wasn't his initial. What I'm watching from the camera, right? What I'm watching from the camera that follows the football may be different than them grading it off of all 22 or something. So I understand how I could see it differently.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like that's your perspective. But you know what's funny is I was like I said, I was going through some stuff from Ronnie Bell, and so I'm like, yo, like how is he dropping? Like that the first drop was like, all right, dude, got to get that second hand on that ball, reel it in, right? But he didn't know that the defender was right there. I would say that Rajon Wright, cornerback for the Saints, was locked in, like locked on. It didn't matter who the receiver was, whoever he was covering, they had a tough time catching passes. That ball he actually caught, and remember that was the one that looked like it was going to be a fumble, and unfortunately he didn't fumble it because he never made a football play on it. Because when Rajon Wright came around him, his arm got the ball out of his hand. Like he wasn't able to grip the ball, right? And so like that to me might have been so PFF rated him with 1 drop. So I'm trying to figure out which was the 1 drop. Was it that play or was it the drop from Brandon Allen?
I don't think a PBU is considered a drop though. So it's probably the Brandon Allen one that they called a drop.
But see so I have a still photo of that. That's more of a PBU or a contested catch. So he had 2 contested targets and he missed both of them. And I think that was a contested target. And the other contested target was the one in the end zone that I didn't think he was going to be able to catch.
I think what made me highlight him as number 1 was watching the game in totality and feeling like the Niners were using this game to evaluate him. I felt like they were targeting. Yes, it was like, Ronnie, this is your moment. Show us what you got. And I feel like he maybe failed the Niners, and that's why I have him number 1.
And I totally get that. Like it looked
I don't even know what his stats were at the end of it. Did he had what?
He had 2 catches off of 7. He had 7 targets, 2 catches. So he was the worst percentage wise. But he was definitely heavily targeted. Also, I think they had him out of his normal position too. So like when you saw Ronnie Bell lined up where he was running the in routes and sitting in the middle of the field, he was Ronnie Bell. When you were asking him to run fade routes and all these other things that he struggles with because that's not the type of receiver he is, it was almost impossible for him to catch some of those contested catches down the field. So that one pass though from Brandon Allen, that was a pretty ad-libbed type of a pass. I think Ronnie, if Ronnie ran his route and then Allen was extending the play and then he took back off and he just didn't have the start speed to catch up under that. But when I watched the still photo on that, because in real time it looked like a complete drop. Like, dang, like it touched your fingertips, you dropped it. Bro, right. Rajon Wright's arms was all over that cat, yo. To where it could have been PI, but they didn't call PI. I'm going to send you the photo, like, privately. And no, I'm going to send you the photo here. We could try to upload it. You can see what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, he was definitely the worst receiver on the football field. Hands down. I thought he was worse than Trent Taylor.
Yeah.
And I expect more from Trent Taylor because he's a veteran. So I can understand why Trent Taylor would be the one to get the X because Trent Taylor should know better. Ronnie Bell,
yes,
still learning. And for Ronnie Bell, Danny Gray, those guys that the Niners drafted as the wide receiver position, Tay Martin, those guys, who I think was an undrafted kid, like for them, it's really tough because the Niners continue to draft wide receivers that show up and are better. And so that's what makes it a difficult decision, right? Like to keep guys you drafted. Well, if I drafted another guy and he's better than the guy that I drafted prior, what do?
There's only one spot available, right?
There's only one spot available.
That's assuming they keep 6, right? And not 5?
Correct.
If it's 5, it's done.
If it's 5, it's done. And that's including Brandon Ayuk. On both.
It's including
5 or
Ayuk
6.
And Pearsall. Yes.
Yeah.
That's that both
but
of them.
But you said but okay, so like let's do because Chris Conley should be the 5th. Right? So you keep both rookies. Debo, Jawan, Ayuk. That's your 5. Chris Conley.
That's
right?
6.
Oh, that's 6? Do that again?
But you got Ayuk and Pearsall as the first rounders. Debo's a second round guy, right? Then you got Jawan Jennings that gave the extension to. Then you got Cowing, the 4th rounder. And then you got Chris Conley.
Dang.
That's already 6. That's already 6.
Oh yeah. The six are wrapped. The 6 are a lock. The question is how can you're not going to be able to trade Ronnie Bell. You're not going to get anything for him. You're going to have to cut him. But the Niners don't have a problem. Here's what I've learned from the San Francisco 49ers. If they draft a player, they have 0 problems in cutting you.
Sure enough.
And you can ask all those 3rd round pick running backs.
You ain't lied.
And so, like, that's why I'm saying, like, so, for Ronnie Bell, like, it's unfortunate because, like you said, he was tested. He had the most snaps, in my opinion, at the wide receiver spot. Like, they literally kept him out there, and he just couldn't ace the test. He couldn't overcome him. That first drop pass, I guarantee you that got in his head, and it was a wrap. Like, he was trying to like, overplay or whatever.
It just felt like it was supposed to be his moment. They were like, this is the game where you define your future here. Like, this was his opportunity.
But I don't think he would have defined his future. Like, I think it was a lose-lose situation. We just talked about the 6 players. We just literally talked about the 6 guys. We just named them all 6.
But Ronnie Bell's a special teamer also, so he could have gave some competition for Conley in that sense. If he came out here and was catching everything and he was
because Conley's, in my opinion, more of a versatile receiver because he could play the X. Ronnie Bell's not playing the X.
But I see what you're saying. Niners to keep 7 receivers though, right?
Absolutely not.
It's impossible.
Because that means you go one shirt. Is that what I say? I don't know. But that's when you go. Do the Niners take one less lineman, either offensively or defensively?
I don't know. It's tough. 7 receivers is a reach.
7 receivers is a lot. But there was one season, I believe, Kyle Shanahan went with 7 receivers, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
It's gonna get interesting. I have zero problems saying that Ronnie Bell was the weakest link. I think I made that clear, right? So for people that are just coming into the show and people saying I'm defending him, I defended everybody on this list. I gave context to every player on Mike's list. Did I not?
Mm-hmm. You did.
So I defended everybody, basically.
Yeah, you definitely defended Darryl.
But I agree with the list.
I think Schrader was the only one that didn't really get a lot of defense, but it was just more of an explanation of how he ended up on this list.
I thought they used him wrong, and so
that's right. You did say that's right. You said that he's a
power guy. He's a power guy. Like use him in the power run gap scheme. You know what I mean? So it's a little interesting. Like Mike, I think this is a great list, man. I think weakest links, Darrell. So you gave it to me. It's funny because you got Gray. I thought Gray was the 49ers' weakest link is in the wide receiver room, and we never thought it would be that.
But it's also the deepest. It's the deepest. We just named 6 and said none of these guys can make this roster.
Not because of the talent that you have in the 6. How do you cut Chris Conley and expect for him to not get a job? That would be
who are you keeping over Conley is the question.
Right. EMA beats. Who's more of a weaker link, Danny or Ronnie? See, in my opinion, if you talk about overall, it's got to be Danny because I really feel like he a one-trick pony, right? And if you're not getting the ball down the field to him, he's not providing you anything on special teams. He's not a gunner. He's not any of that.
Even though drafted higher too, like he's got to be.
And he was a 3rd round draft pick, right? Third round pick, 4th round pick. I can't remember. He was drafted right after Drake Jackson, right?
I said he was after Drake. So 4th rounder.
Well, Drake was the 2nd rounder.
We had multiple. Yes, right. No, he was 66 or 99. What was he picked?
I can't remember, but Drake was a 2nd rounder. You know what I'm saying? And so we had 2 3rd round picks. We drafted Danny Gray and TDP that year, right? Now, unless Kyle, here's my thing about thanks Phil, thanks Uncle Phil. Unless Kyle Shanahan freaks,
he's a 3rd round pick 105.
Thank you, bro. Unless Kyle Shanahan freaks the roster, which I really feel like he's gonna do. Like Mike, let me ask you this question, right? We'll dip up out of here after this because I know we started late. People got things to do. We got super chats. Thank you, Mike. Let me ask you this question, right? How? Give me a percentage on Ricky Pearsall not playing this season.
Did you hear me when I said, does he redshirt Ricky Pearsall? Did you hear me say that? Or no?
Oh, I didn't hear that. My bad.
You fixed your shirt when I said it, and I didn't know what you were doing. I was like, I thought you said
that was on my shirt. I'm like, I don't know what's on my shirt. You didn't hear me say that?
No, I didn't hear you mumbled something about your shirt. That's why I didn't know what you were saying.
I don't know what's on my shirt. I thought you was reading my shirt. I thought you said
no.
You read
I was
my
saying,
shirt.
do they redshirt Pearsall? That was my question. That's why I said.
So you asked me the question. Got you.
But it's cool. No, listen. Kyle keeps saying that it depends. It's just a shoulder thing. It's just a shoulder thing. But they haven't definitively said what happened, when it happened, the results, the MRI, nothing. It's just he's just banged up, but he was running routes and he looked good.
Yo, Kyle Shanahan said that he's running routes in practice, but we're not sure if he's ready for contact. Basically, I'm gonna sum it up.
Yes.
That means he ain't playing, at least right now. So you don't let him play this week, and then he's gonna have 2 more weeks before kickoff.
Right.
I think he's this year's Kamler too. It's either him or Isaac Guerrero.
Yeah, I'll positive for tomorrow, so I'll bring up the tight ends tomorrow. But
the reason why I said that is because the Niners have a plethora of wide receivers. So this is not about we don't even know how good Ricky Pearsall is going to be. Ricky Pearsall might lead the team in drops. Ricky Pearsall might, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. We haven't seen it yet. But we definitely know we got us a dog in Jacob Cowan. I could tell you that.
1,000,000%.
He's gonna be on my top 5 strongest links. I can tell you that right now.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped. I'm hyped,
right.
man. I'm hyped.
All right, let's get to these super chats, guys. Shout out to everybody. We did have a question, and I did want to answer that question from 49er Man 843. I saw it at the very beginning of the show, but definitely get it. We got a super sticker from JD Durham. Thank you for the super sticker. If there's something, do you see him? Did he make a comment in the show, Mike?
You got to go on YouTube to see it.
Okay.
So the super stickers are like digital emojis.
Right, but I wanted to know if he had an extra comment, something that I didn't see, because he gave a super sticker, not a super chat. That's a little bit different. Right. So if you're still watching and there's something, there's a question, there's a take you want me to put out there, highlight, let me know. And then 49ers throwback, Ronnie Bell trending down, Trent Taylor, Danny Gray, all got to go. Mike, you said something earlier. You said this is a good problem to have, right? Because the room is getting stronger by separating from the weakest links. And I think this is how you need your football room to be, right? Ronnie Bell had 3 touchdowns last year, but that shit doesn't matter, right? It doesn't.
Right.
Because it's what are you going to be able to do now? Right. Trent Taylor, I don't think ever really did anything for San Francisco other than get injured. And Danny Gray is like the new Trent Taylor. They just stay injured. Now.
Well, hold on. Trent Taylor was the Kendrick Bourne and Jawan Jennings before they were.
Before the injuries.
He was the third
before
down.
The injuries.
Yeah.
Correct.
Before the injuries. He was the third.
That's why I said, but all he did was pretty much get injured, is what I'm trying to say. So, yes. So I can understand these are the 3 weakest links, but Tay Martin is going to probably be in there, because he's good. He had a good first game, but he's just not better. All right, let's do this last thing, because we talked about weakest links being the wide receivers room. Let's say Ricky Pearsall is IR'd for the season. Who's taking the 6th spot?
As of today,
mm-hmm.
It would probably be, y'all ain't gonna like it. It might be Tay Martin, if I'm being completely honest with you.
It should be Tay Martin.
Yeah.
But would it be Tay Martin?
I don't see. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm doing it based off of what I've seen in preseason.
Okay.
Period. I'm not talking about practice reports. I'm not talking about usage and versatility and none of that stuff. It seems like Tay Martin is the only guy that's out there focused and working on getting better day after day. Respect. So that's why I'm saying Devontavion, what's his name again? Tavon. God dang it. He's got a lot. I know the word Davon is in the beginning, and then it's Tavarius. Dayton Various, is that what it is? You look at me like I'm crazy. Tay Martin, his first name is not Tay. It's like Davon.
If his mama called him Tay, we gonna call him Tay. That's
Devontavian.
Yeah, Tay is cool. Mama called him Tay. We gonna call him Tay, right? It's Tay on his jersey. Yeah.
I swear to God, if he makes this team,
Mike, you were right too. By the way, he didn't play 1 snap. Remember, I thought that would be a game that I thought he would feature. So, okay, last question. I promise we'll go. We got Willie Snead back? No. He went to the Dolphins, I thought.
Oh, he said, look how we kept signing Willie Snead.
Because he was the veteran that they wanted on the practice squad. That's a practice squad move. That's why I could see is Chosen Anderson going to be that veteran?
I hope not.
Okay, so
I would rather it be somebody like Trent Taylor.
Excuse me, it's Robbie Chosen too, by the way. Thank you so much for correcting me, Lake City Fresh. It is Robbie Chosen. Oh, damn it, I forgot the question. I think that means it's time to go.
Okay.
I think it's time. Willie Snead got hurt. Interesting. Well, we'll be praying for him. We'll be praying for Willie Snead. So this is
wasn't he the one saying that? Never mind. Okay.
We're gonna be praying for Willie Snead, Mike. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Yeah. We know that Debo's name isn't actually Debo. We understand it's Tyshawn Samuel. Like, we got that. Like, we're good.
I say that every once in a while too.
I had a question about the receivers though.
You originally asked who's going to get that 6th spot, and I said it should be Tay. That's how we got on
agreed.
this.
We agreed to Tay. We agreed that it should be Tay, And then it was
you
something
said, will
else.
Ricky Pearsall be put on IR? It
How
sucked 'cause
crazy would it be if the 49ers don't have Brandon Ayuk or Ricky Pearsall this season?
That's stop. See, you starting stuff. And like that's a cliffhanger. Bye.
Take us home.
We live all the time, kicking it with the fam, bro. That's Breezie. I'm Mike, and this is the B.A.M Show.